Hello, everyone. This is the next episode of We Got Your Six. With me today is Kentrina Jenkins.
Hi.
And we get to welcome into the fold here Todd Gilman. And I'm excited because I really have just been watching you on the sidelines come into my world or our world in the last year especially. I see your support and we appreciate it, but we also appreciate you. And I think it's time you get a chance to tell us who you are and what you've been up to. So, Todd.
Yeah. Well, hello, everybody. My name's Todd Gilman. I do have a couple of Facebook pages. One's called One Vet's Journey. And that's where I put all my info veterans are having in Canada. And being a vet, I've obviously been through the system. It's a very frustrating system.
Can I get you to tell us where you were deployed, or just a little blurb?
Oh, sure, yeah. I served from 87 to 97. I served in 3 different regiments. I started off with the reserves, B Company, 1 RMBR in Fredericton, New Brunswick, and just fell in love with the life. Joined the Reg Forces in 90. From 90 to 92, I was with the Royal Canadian Dragoons in Petawawa with the Special Forces, and rebadged in 92 back to the reserves, and served 2 years there, and then finished off 3 years with the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry in Calgary.
Thank you for your service. I know that gets said often way too lightly, but here we truly mean that.
I do have complex PTSD from childhood trauma and from military.
Okay.
On March 27th, 1995, that's my day of days. We lost Neil McKinnon in CFB Suffield, and I witnessed that. I was watching Neil because I really he knew his stuff, and I was watching him to learn from him. And unfortunately, the incident happened, and I witnessed a very traumatic event.
I'm sorry about that, and I don't want you to relive anything that you don't want to talk about here. I think you've been really busy since this last while, and you've been putting yourself out there to help veterans. And do you find that, just quickly, I often ask that, do you find in your healing journey that by actually getting out and doing something like you're doing with Veterans Foodbank and that you're going to talk about, do you find that helps you?
I do, yes. You got to keep your mind off the stinking thinking, I like to call it.
Right.
So I try to stay busy. I was given a guitar from Guitars for Heroes, so I'm learning the guitar, and I volunteer often at the Veterans Association Foodbank in Calgary. And it definitely keeps my mind off it, right? I talk about my traumas, both my childhood traumas, my abuse, my addictions, and my military experiences. Yes.
So I look at you as a message of hope to people. I mean, you've been there and you've struggled, and yet here you are, right? And nobody's saying it's perfect, but you're out there, you're focusing yourself on something that is so important to others, and hopefully helping you. So leading into that, I know I've been watching that you're stocking the shelves there at Veterans Food Bank. It seems like the donations were coming in pretty fast for a while there. Is it doing well?
It's doing well. We got a lot of vets in the Calgary area that need help, and the support from Calgary and surrounding areas has been phenomenal. But we need continued support. The Veterans Association Foodbank is the only nonprofit Veterans Foodbank in Canada.
Wow.
It's the only registered nonprofit Veterans Foodbank in Canada. And our hopes is to go nationwide because
Yes.
we need it. Because we need it.
What's the best way that people can help? Like, I don't know, maybe is it like just getting the word out about the Veterans Association Food Bank, or maybe do you need like more donations locally, or is there something kind of like Canada-wide that we can do, you know, that anyone can do to help?
Yeah, the thing is, other provinces, they have veteran food banks, but they're not registered. They're not registered nonprofit. And so I mean, there are places for vets to go in other provinces. They're just not, they're not as set up as we are.
Mm-hmm.
The Association Food Bank really is the full meal deal.
Yeah.
They don't just feed you and pay your bills, which they did for me for October and November.
Wow.
They literally paid all my bills, including my Harley Davidson payments, like my rent, everything. They paid everything.
Awesome.
And the food hampers that they give, they're big enough. They're 4, you know, fairly large size boxes,
Mm-hmm.
and it lasts you a couple of months.
Wow.
That they give you. And I started hanging around and getting to know the guys and the girls, and they put me on a mental health first aid course so I could learn about myself and to help other people with mental health issues.
Absolutely. And
So
that
it really is a full meal deal.
Absolutely. So you mentioned that they helped you in like October and November. When you had to reach out to them for support.
Right.
So how did you feel like once you know, because I'm sure it wasn't easy reaching out for the support, right? Like, were they like super nice and inviting? Like, you know.
Oh, absolutely. So it was about mid-October. I called them and I was done.
Yeah.
I was finished. I had my 45 beside me. It was loaded, and I got cut off my benefits in April. And from April until the first week of December, I had no money. I had no money at all. I got a little bit from Veterans Affairs, but it was just barely enough to pay my rent.
Mm-hmm.
But I needed that money to eat and for gas and all the other stuff. So I didn't really have any money.
Mm-hmm.
I called them in desperation, and unfortunately for me, I called the wrong place first, and he told me to wait 2 days. And I explained to the guy that I have a gun in my hand. He told me to wait 2 days, and I hung up the phone, and I was bawling my eyes out. I was like staring at that damn pistol and crying. And I'm a fighter. I really am. I'm a fighter. So I started doing my Google searches, and I found the Veterans Association Food Bank. I called them, and they were at my house within hours in High River. That's a 60-kilometer journey from Calgary to where I live in High River. They were here in a couple of hours. They handed me a check. I paid my rent. I paid all my bills. They fed me, and I couldn't believe it. Like, I just couldn't believe that a place like this existed for veterans.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I started volunteering, and like, I really love this place. These they're making a difference.
Wow. I hadn't realized it was to that extent that they actually helped people. And I think that's a real model we should be looking at in other places, right? So
That's great. Yeah.
having said that, we should actually talk, if we get the chance, Trina, maybe we can talk to the people who started it and look at a model for other places and spread this message, right?
Absolutely.
They can do it. We can do it somewhere else too, right? And your story, as hard as it is to tell, sadly, is one I hear once a week, and then I'm struggling, like, where, because I've reached out to you even, Todd, like, I got a guy, or, and just to be able to say, hey, phone here is another spot to send people is just what we need so badly.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right. And this place is awesome. Like we've got 3 bays, and they're very large bays. The first bay has all the donated furniture and stuff like that. The second bay is basically our storage bay, and the third bay is where the donations come in, and we sort it out and box it up.
Wow.
So the address for the Veterans Association Foodbank is bay number 10, and it's at 820 28th Street Northeast in Calgary. And we are, like I said, the only registered nonprofit veterans food bank in Canada.
So I'm going to say that address again. So it's bay number 10, correct me if I'm wrong, 8228?
820.
820.
820 28th Street.
Oh, gotcha. 820 28th Street. North?
Northeast.
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 Calgary. Okay, so we will put that up on our podcast or our show after. They'll be able to come back and check those addresses. Trina always adds it to our places to go to contact anyway, so that it'll be on our what do you call that?
It's in the description.
It'll be on our episode. Anyways, you will find it, or people can call in and get it from us anytime as well. That's a super good message. I'm really glad that you come and talked about this today, because I had no idea it was even to that extent that they helped people. And if it gives me hope that that's just another thing we can look at, Trina, my brain's doing now, right?
I love it. So one of the things that I'm always curious about, when anyone's going through anything, whether it's like methylquin or PTSD or anything, I want to know what people can do. So like friends, family, spouses, people's kids, like what we can do to help support someone. Like, let's say like what somebody could have done, in October, or even, kind of like April to October. Like, how can we support like you, right? Like kind of like advice and tips, because so many people, what they say, because I deal with like mental health and stuff as well, but so many people are like, oh, just give me a call, or oh, just reach out. But it's like, I find it hard to reach out and just be like, oh, today's shitty, right? Like you just can't do that. So it's like, what would you find helpful? Because it's like Veterans Association Foodbank, that's awesome, right? But it's like on a smaller scale, what can someone, because we always want to help our friends, like, and so many of us are living paycheck to paycheck, so we can't even help financially. Like, how could we have helped you, right? Or a friend, how could they have helped?
Oh, a lot of it's it was really hard for me to reach out, because I joined the military at 17, and it was my life. Like, I gave my youth to this country, and it's all I knew, right? And I wasn't a quitter. I mean, obviously at a young age, 17, I was taught some very well, I killed people.
You're taught some deadly things.
Let's not beat around the bush, right?
No.
And at 17, when you're learning to do stuff like that, it's it affects you, and you become your own boss, right? Like you have a hard time reaching out for help, because you're the fixer.
A sign of weakness as a soldier.
Yeah.
Is done, right?
You're the fixer, and that it was hard for me. But when I finally did it, it opened up a lot of doors, and I just kept opening them up, right?
That's it. See, and I guess that's the takeaway from that, hey, Kentrina, is that no matter, just don't give up. Reach out, right? Don't feel like it's a sign of weakness. This shit that you're going through, it's bigger than people, and you need to reach out and get control of it, right? It doesn't mean you're weak at all. Not one bit. In fact, you're strong. In my mind, it's like somebody saying sorry takes a big person to say they're sorry. To me, it takes a big person to say, I need help with this today. And I think that you have to commend yourself. You're warriors. You just need, reach out, people. Just be like Todd, reach out.
And that's the story I want to tell my brothers and sisters, right? Like on my post, I always put some hashtags, and one of them is always start talking.
Yes.
Because that's the step. That's the big step. Once I started talking, other brothers and sisters started talking, and it just expands, right? Like get the word out. Although I didn't do any tours anywhere, I served this country for 10 years. I gave my youth to this country, and I was ready. I was ready and willing to be deployed, and there were several incidences when I thought it was going to happen, and I was ready. We fight. That's what soldiers do.
To fight.
We fight.
And as hard as it is, people, you got to continue to fight, just like Todd, and reach out, and we'll fight with you. There's Todd. You're part of what I keep. Trina says, this is a big community now, and it's good to find like-minded people who understand what you're going through, and you're not having to sound like you're crazy. You're just not. So, just be like Todd and reach out. I'm so proud of you.
Me too.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I don't know, it's weird, but I always get excited when I see your hashtags, like, like One Vet's Journey, right? And it's just, to me, it's just, I don't know, it's weird, but I think that hashtags like that, they kind of build community, right? So it's like, like we always have hashtags that we always share, but it's always nice to see ones that, like, because I don't share like One Vet's Journey, but every time that I see yours, I get excited, because it's like, I think it builds something to be able to, for people to like reach out, and they'll be like, oh, okay, what's this about, right? So.
Exactly. We're not looking at last names anymore. It's not the Gilmans or the Joneses. It's hashtag we're in this together, and hashtag One Vet's Journey, and hashtag Battle Scars, and and they're all little communities, and now they're all joining up, and it's amazing. I mean, for me, it is. 27 years later, I'm finally starting to see people waking up, and reaching out to each other.
Yep, for sure. Like my brother Mike Rude, he contacted me because of that, because of my Facebook page, One Vet's Journey. He's like, hey, I see there's a lot of people, starting to read your page, and I'd like to kind of help you out. And in the end, we helped each other out, right? Like Mike came here, stayed for a night with Spark and another brother, and it was good. It was good fellowship, and we talked about the craziness of our youth, and we had a good time.
Because you were amongst like-minded people who understand, right? That's the part. That's what's encouraging about Kentrina and you and me and all the others out there. We get you. We just want to help people to understand as well. There's so much your benefit. Your health gets better. Your mental health, your physical health. You're not crazy. You're not alone. There's a big family, a big community here, and you're one small community that's joined with us. And you're not that small. I shouldn't say it like that. You've got quite a following, and that's really encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, I look at how many friends I have on Facebook, and I try not to let it go to my head, right? Like
that's not go to your head.
I mean, they.
You know what?
I wasn't thinking that that it would ever happen. You know, I mean, I did it for me because I wanted to heal. I wanted change, right? And then all of a sudden, I get all these friend requests because of the posts I've been putting on there, and it just kept going.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. You sound exactly like Mike Rood. He said, I left to go find myself, and instead he found everyone else, and that was just the best part of his journey, and for you as well. For me,
it's kind of like that. Sorry. It's kind of like that quote, and it's like, you know, one page of your story, you know, your story ends up being, you know, a page of someone else's survival guide, right?
Yeah, and that's just it. Your story, Todd. Whether we know it today or not, you know, we hear back from our episodes, but your story today, I can guarantee you, it's going to change quite a few people's lives today, because they're going to hear where you were at, and it's not funny, and it's heartbreaking to think that you were at that point where the only thing you had was your gun, you know, and that was what you were thinking. And our world's such a better place off that you're in it, and look how far you've come. So the shit that happens today is not what may be tomorrow. You just have to get through today every time, right? And look where you are now, right?
Yeah, and sometimes that's true. You know, there's times when I'm literally going hour to hour, right?
It's true.
It's not easy, but you know, I've had a lot of support. And it helps.
Absolutely helps. You can't do this stuff alone. You can for a while, but you know, after a while, it just gets to be too much. And there's a whole family out here of people who've, like Todd, lived it, like Dave Bona, Mike Rood. We have, you know, they're here as part of this ongoing episodes as well. So if you have questions for any of these gentlemen, or Trina or myself, just reach out.
Absolutely.
So Todd, have we missed anything? Have you got anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, we'll throw out the web page and the phone number.
Okay.
The one thing about the Veterans Association Foodbank is we're an open book, literally. You can come in off the street and say, "Can I look at your books?" And we'll show you our books. We've got nothing to hide. We are totally nonprofit. There's, I think, there's only 3 civilians that are actually paid, and the rest is absolutely 100% run by veterans. Any veteran can come in off the street. Every Thursday we have meetings. We have a dinner on Thursdays. Usually starts around 5. And then after the dinner, we have our board meeting every Thursday, and anybody can come and participate in the board meeting. They can vote in the board meeting, because it's vets helping vets. That's the motto right there. Vets helping vets.
Love it.
And that's, like I said, totally open book. We got nothing to hide, right? So the phone number to call the Veterans Association is 403-367-8387, and that spells 403 for vets.
Perfect.
And the website is www.vafb Veterans Association Foodbank.ca.
Perfect. So we're going to put this information on our web page as well. It'll be available there, and you guys need the address, or anybody needs this phone number, inbox us at any time, and I'm sure one of us will get it to you as quick as we can.
Absolutely. And even if you want to come back again, like, you know, if there's any like big events coming up, or if you want to, like, you know, give us an update, or you have any message that you want to share, again, you're definitely welcome to come back too.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good one, Trina. Because I mean, honestly, you could come on even for 10 minutes and tell us, look, hey, this is what's happening, or for an hour. We don't care. If you got something to say, we're here to listen.
Absolutely. Yep. The association, they do all kinds of different events for the local veterans and first responders. I should throw that in there too. They've done Quilts of Valor a couple of times, and other events like elderly veterans in the area. We've had birthdays for them and stuff, stuff like that, right? They're always doing something. But the big thing is
that read out, like if you need that read out, we probably wouldn't get it out like that day, but if you knew like 3 or 4 days ahead of time, we could definitely air it for you, even read it out. I am not adverse to that at all. So you can get your message out. It's a wonderful organization. I'm just thrilled that you come to tell us about it. And I really would like to, if there's a model to share that we can share, or maybe start that. My area doesn't have as many veterans, but there's Edmonton, and there's, other areas where there's bases and stuff around. Anyways, there's, there are places that could do this. So when you say they're registered, if someone makes a donation to you, does that mean they get a receipt?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to, because some people like that, right? If you want to make a donation to this food bank, then, and it is the only registered one, as Todd said, and you'd be able to get a tax receipt from that donation.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yep. There's even businesses that, every year are trying to look for, places to donate, right? So it's like, if we pass that along, so even if you mightn't even know that, your friend that owns a business, every year is kind of searching for someone. So if we pass it, if this information is out, then it's a great place to donate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if there's anybody out there that has ideas, or they kind of got their foot in the water already, but they're not quite sure, call the Veterans Association and ask for Marie. She's the one that started this, and she used her own money. And she's an awesome person.
I'd love her to talk to Marie.
She's awesome.
Wonder if she'd talk to us.
She might. She's really busy.
Yeah, but I mean, we've got time. We'll make time. Maybe sometime you and her could come on even and update us or something if you have time. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm glad that you explained how diverse it really is, that it's not just a food bank. This is an amazing organization that basically, once they find you, they don't leave you.
Yep. That's what we're hoping. Yep. Exactly. The full meal deal, we call it.
Excellent. Well, you come back anytime and you update us, and it's been an absolute pleasure having this conversation with you today. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, people, this is the episode for We Got Your Six today. And again, Todd Gilman, we're going to post again all the information for the Calgary Food Bank so that you can donate and it's a great cause to donate. Trina, you got any last words?
No, that's perfect.
Good to go?
Nope,
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Take care of each other. Vets helping vets. That's what we ought to do. So take care of one another. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.